Hi, my name is Ron Kosakowski. I'm the owner of the Practical Self-Defense Training Center on 847 Hamilton Avenue in Waterbury, Connecticut. I teach a lot of different type of styles here. It's like a university of martial arts here. I have other instructors also. I teach Kung Tao. It's a Filipino martial art that I'm very lucky to have, actually, and it seems like it's in big demand all over the world. I also teach Pakiti Terja Kali. I teach Anasanto Kali. I teach Jeet Kune Do, John Fan Jeet Kune Do, sometimes it's called, and I also teach integrated grappling systems, which integrated grappling systems is a blend of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Russian Sambo, Judo, Shuto, Dumag, and Silat types of methods of grappling, and it's our fighters are winning all over the place. The Jeet Kune Do integrated grappling systems and the Muay Thai are part of our MMA program.
Okay, so tell us more about the Kung Tao, because a lot of people haven't heard of Kung Tao. Am I saying that right?
Kung Tao,
Kung Tao.
yes.
Kung Tao.
Kung Tao is it's actually an ancient style that arrived in the Philippines a little over 900 years ago or something like that. It came from China originally, and it's kind of a you might call it a no BS type of style. Very unusual actually in its approach. Very logical. It's multi-man attack oriented. It's blade oriented. And it's you need a blade-oriented type of martial art to be able to defend against a blade, and that's what we do. It's amazing what people are able to do in that class. Even our intermediate level students are just simply amazing at this style. And what it consists of all different ranges, from long range to the ground, including, like I said, multi-man attack situations, and you know, being attacked by multi-man attack situations and with weapons even. I teach it to the military all over the place here and in the Philippines. We actually have some videos on YouTube when I taught the military out there. It's quite interesting. It consists basically of, it's not like kick, punch, grapple. It's more like, you know, you latch your teeth onto a person, put your thumb in his eyes, grab him by the hair, you're kneeing him, stepping on his feet, breaking bones.
It's very vicious?
Oh yeah, a very vicious approach. I call it's like the way ancient man fought, like a trapped animal.
Like a pit bull.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way a pit bull would do. I tell everybody, they say, well, what's fighting going to do? Well, I'll tell you what, you ever try to catch a mouse? Do you really want to catch one? And why wouldn't you go grab a mouse in the corner of your room? Because he'll bite you. Simple as that. Imagine our teeth are a lot bigger, so we can take chunks out. You could bite through a piece of meat, you could bite through a human.
So what's the grading system for Kung Tao?
Yeah, Kung Tao. Yes, the grading system... First off, the testing is very physically and mentally demanding. It's not like you have to memorize a bunch of forms or anything, which we have no forms in Kung Tao, not this style anyway. And what we do is we have a white. You start off at rope belt, and you go into your white belt, and then you've got yellow belt, purple belt, brown belt, and then black belt levels. So far to date, as of this video anyway, I have only 2 black belts made so far.
Oh. So how does one become a Kung Tao master or Kung Tao grandmaster? What's the ranking? In terms of like your terminology for your teachers?
Actually, originally there is no grandmaster in the Kung Tao systems. We call them elders. Sometimes, I mean, here in America, the what do you call the term grandmaster is actually a more of an American term, I would say, or from Japanese Okinawan type styles, Korean type styles.
Okay.
We don't use that term in, not my style of Kung Tao anyway, and in the Philippines they don't use it, so I follow what they do in the Philippines.
Okay. And when you were learning your Kung Tao?
Yes.
Did they teach you like a spiritual aspect to the martial art, or is it just a purely physical martial art?
The spiritual aspect is basically like the healing aspects of it. A lot of by being physically fit, like the Kung Tao works on the core. which incidentally people are just discovering that they have, and it's funny how people 3,000 years ago knew that they had a core, and so by having your body well in balance and being relaxed during your technique, and a lot of the technique is practice, like the hand-to-hand stuff, like some people might refer to it as the hand aspects of the sensitivity drills looks like a cross between Chi Sao, Hu Bud, and push hands from Tai Chi, but it's actually it just consists of a lot of relaxation, feeling the alternative move to go to when your initial move fails.
And what's the key to becoming a Kung Tao expert or black belt?
Being consistent. That's one thing, and putting a lot of work and effort into it. Kung Tao is kind of a lifestyle, actually. You become Kung Tao. That's what I feel like I've become. My students say the same thing. They become Kung Tao.
And how has martial arts helped you out?
Number one, when I was younger, it kept me away from a lot of trouble, especially the way I grew up. So I feel like it just kept me on the right side of things, you might say. I had learned to be ethical and morally correct on on what to do if something occurs. It basically kept me physically fit, especially now. I'm a little older. I just feel like it kept me together, actually.
Kept you young, basically.
Yeah, younger and physically fit.
The more athletic you are, the less you age, actually.
Yeah, definitely. And I could see that,
Yeah. And tell us about your integrated grappling class. Like, you said it was part judo and part a few other styles.
Okay,
what have you taken from those other styles to create your integrated grappling?
Okay, integrated grappling systems, I call it that because where one style has a void, another one could fill that void. A lot of people may disagree with this, but it's true. It's like, we have a lot of different options, you might say. I could probably teach you 5 different ways to do an arm bar from the mouth from different styles, and everybody has a different idea. I've seen it within the Gracie family, even though they have different ideas how to do an arm bar, so it's not unusual. So what the integrated grappling systems actually is a combination of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Shuto, Dumag, catch wrestling, Silat. So I kind of blend all that together. Catch wrestling was one of my first styles, and Shuto with Larry Hartzell. And I went on to study all these other different styles. And I've had probably 30 different grappling instructors over the years.
Wow, that's a lot of instructors.
Yes. That's why I like all the opinions.
And in your integrated grappling class, do you use the same belt system that you would for Kung Tao?
Actually, integrated grappling systems is part of my Jeet Kune Do program. I do give coach certificates for people who just want to learn integrated grappling systems. But it's basically part of my Jeet Kune Do program. So what happens is I rank people by beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then you reach apprentice instructor, associate instructor, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you reach senior instructor with me. Yes, senior instructor.
Senior instructor. So you do move up.
Or full instructor. Excuse me, full instructor after associate instructor. I'm sorry, and then senior instructor once you're with me.
Okay, so there is a system of advancement that you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's not like a tangible belt ranking.
Gotcha.
Not in our system anyway.
Not in your system.
Yes.
Okay, so you also teach children?
Yes, we have a children's class.
Ages from what to what?
Ages 5 to 12 years old. I actually have my student Vinny Brightman. He teaches them Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with the gi, and he has a day without the gi. And the kids' class is getting so full, we're thinking of taking younger children. He wants to open up a couple more days a week and take some younger kids in too. So I think that's a good idea, actually.
And so here's a question that I never really could answer for anyone, but like even in what we do at home. How do you rank a child's skills? Like, I've heard of children by the age of 12 being 4th degree judo black belts or stuff like that. How does that work? Because when you're a child, like, you're not really paying attention to what the teacher's saying. You don't really. Some of the moves might be complicated. How does that work in your school?
when you see a child that's especially under the age, I'm going to say 18. That's we'll call that a child just for now.
Well, but, child.
The thing is, when you see somebody that young and gets a black belt, it's a money-making gimmick. They got to memorize a bunch of forms, and they got that black belt, and it kind of ruins the black belt status as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So you don't believe in 12-year-olds being called sensei and 12-year-olds teaching their own class?
Not at all. If they memorize enough forms, I'd say they should get maybe a brown belt with maybe a black stripe in it or something, and in that style, but they should not be allowed just for the maturity purposes. But it's kind of a production line, bunch of schools that do that, and this video will probably be controversial just by what I'm saying, but prove me any different. Because their black belts won't be able to beat my son, who's 5'2" and 120 pounds, and he's only 16. He's an advanced level in Jeet Kune Do. I will not give him an apprentice instructor until then. I have another fighter, Jornell, who's he's also high up in level in Jeet Kune Do, and I will not give him apprentice instructor, not yet. Maybe in a couple years he might receive it also. It's not good at 16 years old to be giving this type of stuff away.
Yeah. So you have higher standards in your school?
Definitely. It's old-fashioned standards, the way I am.
Tooth and nail to get promoted?
People, they even want to fight, and I don't let them fight right away. And, they'll leave to go to another school, and I see them, and they're losing their fights, or they're swinging wild, and against other people are swinging wild. It doesn't prove anything, So, I mean, it's because my standards are high, but I'm very meticulous, and martial arts, that's all I've done. I started in 1967. It's all I've done since then. I plan on holding true to the ancient ways, and that's what I do, and that's why my martial artists are all good here.
And what kind of weapons training do you do? Do you do traditional weapons training, or do you do like a mix of both, of traditional and modern?
In the Kali and Kung Tao classes, we have traditional weapons. I work with the swords, knives, impact weapons, and I also do flexible weapons, and we work with the staffs also, different size staffs. Kung Tao is a 4-foot staff, Kali is a 5-foot staff. Both styles, Kung Tao and Kali, we do the palm stick also, and we have knife in Kung Tao, and there's a little bit of sword work also.
Do you do gun evasion, knife evasion, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the thing is, you can't understand how to defend against a knife unless you do the knife. So people that try to take their style and adapt it to the knife, it's just not going to work. You have to be in blade-oriented styles to understand what to do against the blade.
Because I've heard teachers say that if you master the technique of a bow staff, you can apply that technique to just about any stick or stuff like that. But I know that there are certain techniques you cannot do with a 4-foot stick that you can do with a 6-foot stick.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely different. Yes,
definitely different.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you got the length and the range. Of course, a 6-foot staff is good at that. I mean, the staffs were originally developed because they couldn't afford the steels. They didn't have steels yet. And it keeps that range. You have different size staffs according to maybe their environment or their style.
And what's your favorite weapon?
It's hard to say. I mean, if I had to choose one to get out of a crowd, I would say maybe a sword would do it. I'm in the sword business too. I own traditional FilipinoWeapons.com, and I sell the weapons also. So I mean, it's just I'm completely into weapons.
So you just love blades and everything.
Yes, definitely.
So you're a one-man army.
You have a blade, you could take on an army.
That's very true. You see it in the movies all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I will let you know when this is out.
All right. Thank you.
Cheers.